What's up, fellas? In our quest to get jacked and stacked, we're gonna inevitably get hurt. That's gonna happen in the gym, out of the gym, within our control, outside of our control. It happens to the best of us. It certainly happened to me. I've hurt my back, my wrists, broken bones, again, both in and out of the gym. Before we talk about a 3-step process that I use to prevent, assess, and move on from injury, so change your mindset, change your training, make new goals, I want to preface with 2 statements. 1, if you are hurt or if you think you are hurt, do not message someone on the internet asking them what they think is wrong with you. Go to your doctor. That's what your doctor is for. They are a medical professional. I am not a medical professional. Sammy Sausage Head with 10 million followers on Instagram is not a medical professional. Now, my second truism, which is really just my strongly held belief and conviction, is that if you are able to resume physical activity in some capacity without pain, do that. That could be walking, running, swimming, weight training that doesn't involve your injured body part. Please do that. 1, it's gonna keep your mind right. It's gonna allow you to stay physically active, burn calories, maintain muscle mass. All of those things are going to help you to prevent further injury. If you let your muscle atrophy, which is get smaller, that is going to invite you to hurt yourself the exact same way, but this time easier. So the first time, you're gonna hurt yourself doing a cat back deadlift that you weren't prepared to do in a rounded back position. You did way too much weight. Your back is snapped. Next time, your back is gonna be atrophied. You lift a box. Now you hurt yourself lifting a box, doing everyday things because you allowed those muscles to get smaller. And then you're gonna be one of those Sammy Sausage Heads saying that deadlifts are bad for you. Deadlifts aren't bad for you. You made a mistake. You allowed yourself to get smaller, and now you're just one of those fellas that gets hurt just living life. Now, before we get started, fellas, I'm keen to hear. I like talking to you guys about these things. If you're injured right now, what type of injury is it? Have you gone to the doctor? How are you feeling about it? You know, this is a community, bro. Let the bros tap in with you. If you're down bad and you need a pep talk, allow the boys to uplift you. That's what we're here for. Let me know. All that out the way, step number 1 is going to allow you to prevent injuries to the largest extent possible. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. You have to do your due diligence in your recovery, your training, and also listen to your body. Now, what do I mean by that specifically? 1, with your recovery, you want to make sure that you are sleeping enough to support your training. Now, that is a little bit different than just sleep 8 hours a night. You know that. You've been told that your entire life. You know that if you can, you should be sleeping 8 hours. What I'm saying that this way for is that some folks, myself included sometimes, are not able to sleep 8 hours a night either because of your schedule, anxiety, depression, caffeine addiction, whatever the case may be. You're not able to sleep 8 hours a night. Sleep enough to support your training. So if you're not sleeping 8 hours per night, you need to dial back your training accordingly. So wherein, if you could sleep 8 hours a night, you could do 8 sets of something. You're sleeping 5, just do 5 sets, do less, because you're doing damage to your body with your training and you're recovering that with your diet and with your sleep. If you're doing 10 points of damage with your training and you're recovering 4 with your sleep and 2 with your diet, you're not recovering from your training. You're going to overtrain, you're going to snap your tendons, and then you're going to be one of those Sammy Sausage Heads that blames their injury on something other than themselves. Now, also with your diet, this is another preventable thing that you can do. Be in a calorie surplus, eat more calories than your body needs to maintain its bodily functions. 200-300 good calories, high quality nutrition, so that's protein with every meal, veggies with every meal, and then enough carbs to support your training. Also, hydration, electrolytes. These things are both important. Electrolytes include your sodium, your potassium, your magnesium, and then other things. Take a multivitamin, drink water, drink coconut water. During, after your training, make sure that you're fueling your body. All of these things are going to put you in a good position to recover. Follow good movement prep as well. That means doing exercises that are going to prepare you for your weight training. For me, I made a good video a few months ago actually called Warm-Ups the Final Answer or something like that. There it is. Watch that video. It talks about specific routines that I do for upper body and lower body that prepare me and folks that I work with for the training that I subject them to and I subject myself to. For you to get jacked and stacked, you gotta destroy the muscles. And I'm hyperbole. Don't literally destroy your muscle fibers, but you have to train hard to get big. And when you train hard, you need to be prepared to do that. Also, listen to your body, and that's the last thing that we're going to talk about in step 1, prevention. If you slept on the wrong side of the bed, you slept on a water bottle, your neck is in a crick like this and you can't put your neck straight, maybe it's not a good idea to max out that day. Maybe you just either take another day to rest, try to do what you can to relax your muscles or relieve whatever pain or ache or jankiness that you feel, and then you go from there. But if despite your best efforts, you try to get your knee to stop hurting, your back, your hips, whatever, and it still feels janky, you need to take a step back. That's how I've hurt myself absolutely every time that it's happened. Now, step 2 is the assessment. Despite your best efforts to prevent it, something goes wrong, you get injured, what do you do now? This is going to take you through what you need to do to not only assess your injury, so the extent of your injury, what is the true nature of your injury, but also your mindset, your training, your strengths and weaknesses, which you'll then need to later assess and change in step 3. Here's what you consider now. Now, what has to come into play before all of this? Again, go to your doctor, go to a medical professional, get an image to see if something's snapped or torn or broken, if you have severe pain that hasn't subsided in a day or two. Do not ask me what is wrong with you. I don't know what's wrong with you. Sammy Sausagehead on Instagram, they do not know what's wrong with you. You don't know what's wrong with you. I barely know what's wrong with me when I hurt myself. I go to the doctor. With a proper medical diagnosis, you know what's on and off the table. Now, no, going to the doctor and him telling you, oh yeah, you have a hernia, or oh yeah, your hip is broken. That's not going to unbreak your hip. That is not going to unspill your guts, but it does tell you what you can do and what you can't do. Now, you went to the doctor, you know what's on and off the table. This is where the mindset piece comes into play. How do you feel about your injury, bro? Was it grievous? Was it minor? How is this affecting your intensity in the gym? I know for me, and I don't know about you, maybe you're an Ubermensch and you can just like completely, your arm can fall off and you're like, hell yeah, I'm about to do another set of one-arm dumbbell bench. It doesn't affect your mindset at all. But for me, I notice a drop in intensity at the moment that I get injured. And then in the workouts afterwards, you have to take that time to recalibrate. You have to take that time to say, okay, here's what happened. Here's what I can do. Here's what I can't change. And here's what I'm not going to allow to happen in the future. What can you do in your training? Focus on that and don't focus so much on what's happened. You can't cry over spilled milk. Now, the most important assessment of all in step 2 is the needs versus wants analysis. I talk about the needs versus wants analysis at great length in my critically acclaimed Berserk Method self-coaching video, 2002 edition. It's fully time-stamped. I talk about it at length here, but here's what you need to understand. You have to take what you need and weigh it against what you want. Your needs are more important. That's what you need to fulfill, but after you fulfill that, whatever rooms you have left for your wants, you fulfill those as well, and that's how you have a well-rounded training program. With regards to injury and preventing it in the future, first, assess your strong points. What's strong about your physique? What is a muscle group that helps to prevent injury? You want to keep training those things. That's one of your needs. You want to keep doing that. But also you want to consider your areas of opportunity. Are you not training your arms? Are you not doing a lot of direct lower back work from, things like back extensions, good mornings that would help you to get a stronger back? Because you simply cannot get all of your back training from deadlifts. You have to get some from accessories, or single leg work, or a leg machine for squat training, and so on. Are you neglecting those accessories and then also just not doing your due diligence warming up as well? These are things that you need to consider. 1, new goals in terms of what muscles are weak, but 2, maintaining the muscles that are strong and then continuing to improve them and keep those strengths of strength. Now, step 3 is changes. Changes is my favorite Tupac song. If you're a Tupac enjoyer, let me know what's your favorite album or track. I'm keen to hear what y'all think. But in terms of changes to your program, you have to set new goals, bro. Are you going to switch from strength training to bodybuilding? or are you going to do from deadlifts to good mornings and rows and things like that? You're changing the types of exercises you're doing while still working certain muscles, or are you just working on something totally unrelated? In my opinion, especially if you're really hurt, you want to include at least one entirely new thing that is completely alien to you, because you're going to make fast progress on it. And when you make fast progress in something, you feel good about yourself. You feel like you're a stud. You feel like you're the best in the world at it. That's the type of positive mental changes that you're going to want to create in your mind to allow you to do well with the things that you're continuing to try to improve. So, if you got hurt because your legs are weak on squat and you just overuse your back too much, that's going to keep you in a good positive mindset while you try to improve your leg size. Likewise, it's just good to be well-rounded, bro. Now, fellas, if you've made it this far, I work with Bells of Steel. I want to tell you about a few pieces of equipment that I really enjoy that are going to be good for certain types of fellas with certain types of injuries to allow them to still train hard. Now, in terms of back injuries, one thing that you can keep in mind is just depending upon the extent of your back injury, you may still be able to do some form of deadlifting, but you have to limit the amount of fatigue on your lower back. It just so happens that I have a discount code, 10% off our industrial trap bar. You can buy that if you have a home gym or if you train in a commercial gym. Trap bars are really good because they allow you to pull something heavy off the floor, still get the tactile enjoyment of doing that. It's primal. We all love doing it. Some of us more than others. But with a trap bar, you're able to do that while sparing some lower back fatigue and potentially turning it into more of a squat than anything. Now, if your shoulders are hurt, I have a buddy of mine, shoulders hurt, he's a firefighter. I'm telling him, bro, you got to get on that safety bar. You get on that safety bar, it's completely comfortable on your shoulders. It emphasizes your quads a little bit more. You're getting more out of less weight. And you're just able to continue to squat and not have to worry about your shoulder and your bicep snapping. Bells of Steel offers that as well. I really enjoy the safety bar. I use it entirely as opposed to a straight bar at the moment, just because I do a lot of benching. And with doing a lot of bench pressing or any chest pressing in general, you want to spare that shoulder recovery. Which brings me, last but not least, to the Arch Nemesis bar. It's a neutral grip bar that we have. It's at an angle, so actually it's very comfortable on the wrists as well. But for fellas that have nagging shoulder injuries, that neutral grip feels really good for that. Plus it has a curve in the middle, so you get an increased range of motion. It feels almost like a dumbbell press, but more stable. Again, it's going to be a little harder than a regular neutral grip, which again is a little harder than a straight barbell bench press. But if you're just looking to work your muscles in a way that doesn't hurt, can't go wrong with any of these three pieces of equipment. My affiliate link down below, every video, and that's if you want to. Don't feel pressure to. I'm fine if you do, I'm fine if you don't, but I genuinely believe that your training will be enhanced by the use of each of these pieces of equipment, even if you're not injured, just because even in the event where you're not injured, they give good variation to your training. That's all she wrote, folks. I hope this was some good food for thought, especially for a fella that is really hurt and just needed some, light in the tunnel action. Like, it's gonna be okay. I can work around this. I will get over this. I've had some grievous injuries myself. It is something that more often than not, you can surpass and overcome. I hope even for fellas that aren't injured, this again was some good food for thought to allow you to prevent that from happening in the first place. If you have any questions, let me know down below. Y'all have a good one.